Hey guys, Louis Allen here. So I wanted to do a quick video on the STL AmpHub. Now, I know there's already tons of videos out there reviewing and demoing what the STL AmpHub can do, but I want to do one that was slightly different maybe and try some of the more clean tones you can get out of this thing. So for what I do as a session musician, I already use quite a lot of the digital modelling software out there for amp simulation and effects already. And there is something intriguing and interesting about not having to lug big valve amps and huge pedal boards around everywhere just to do a session. A lot of the time I work in a studio environment, so lugging big pedal boards and amps everywhere, it's not practical and it's a bit of a pain. So as well as using stuff like the Helix or whatever, it would be amazing to just rock up to a session with my laptop and an audio interface and be able to get all the tones under the sun I'd need for that session. And also, I'd be keen to see whether this kind of thing could be used live, but I think I'll probably save that for a different video. Anyway, that's enough waffling. What I'm going to do now is jump into this thing and see what kind of sounds I can get out of it. Okay, so the amp model that I've got up now is based on the Fender Deluxe, I believe. This preset is called the Brown Deluxe. I don't think I'll mess with it too much. I maybe added like an overdrive pedal or something. But with this amp, you get that really crazy kind of bluesy, boxy sound. So when I started playing with this amp model, immediately what sprang to mind was this sound. Ringing in the Ears by Steely Dan. So this amp preset that I've got here now, I don't know, it's probably down there, is it? I don't know where it is. So this is meant to be an orange amp of some sort. I'm not too familiar on the different orange amp models that you can get. So obviously the preset was orange flying. So a lot of these presets I kind of had a bit of a twiddle with some of the knobs, added a couple drive pedals, compressor pedals, or some reverbs or whatever. So obviously I haven't owned an orange. I've played through a couple before, so I couldn't really give you an accurate idea of whether this is close to what an orange amp sounds like. But for me, it's got that super glassy top, slightly broken up. It's almost like a kind of modern-y, bluesy, rocky kind of sound. I don't know how to explain it. Actually, if you have a look on here, I added a little reverb in there and a little compressor, but I put the BB preamp as well, which I've actually got a BB preamp, and it does quite a close approximation for what that sounds like. It's got that kind of sort of fluffy lead sound. I thought it sounded pretty cool. So that was the orange amp. Again, big thumbs up. Can't tell you whether that's too close to what an orange amp sounds like, but certainly a really cool, usable sound there. So this next amp model is based on the copper top Vox AC30. I've actually got one of these. You can probably just see it over the back there. Yeah, mine's a copper top JMI product, 1962. So I should know what this sounds like actually. And from playing with it just a little bit before I started recording, it does sound really good. And it's not too far off. Obviously, it's never going to sound like a vintage AC30 in the room, but I'll tell you what, it doesn't sound too far off actually. So this is actually based on a preset by Federico Ascari, and it's the IC30, but I've had a little bit of a play with it. So on this one, I've got, I think the preamp was already there. Compressor might have already been there. Little Ibanez tube screamer there. Parametric, that was already on the preset, and I think the reverb might have been as well. What I'll try and do, I'll try and mix it up with some noodling, and then I'll play some straight chords as well, so you guys can just kind of hear what it sounds like when you play straight chords rather than noodling. So I absolutely love this amp model. It's clean, it's punchy, it's not got a harsh top end, which you do get a lot with digital modelling amps and stuff, but that sounds awesome. So the preset that I've got up now is called Mars Attacks. I think I put a little bit more bass on it, and effects wise, little studio comp, little reverb, no drive pedals though. It really does that kind of, I don't know how to describe it. When I hear that all plexi sound, it kind of sounds sort of pew pew. I don't know whether that's a technical term, pew. Again, I've used my trusty Yamaha single cut Pacifica on this, so it's just single coils and I've got a P90 in the neck. But it does sound really good, and it's got that kind of sponginess that you kind of get with real amps when you stand in front of one. It's got that it's like responsiveness. You know, the amp gives you something back when you play. I don't know how, does that make sense? When you play something, the amp kind of gives you something back and maybe kind of feeds back into the guitar. It's got that same kind of feel with it. So yeah, I really enjoyed playing with this amp model. I'm going to have to seriously edit down the playing because I went off on a complete tangent. So this next amp model is based on the old 59 Fender Bassman, which I couldn't help but play funk on it. I'm not sure whether that's what this amp was known for, but it definitely sounds funky to me. So the preset that it was based on is Modern Blues Approach, but what I did with it, I think I took off some of the effects. So kept the parametric equalizer on, kept the verb on, and turned off the tube screamer but kept the compressor on as well. And yeah, I think it sounds super funky. Super funky, like I say, same with a lot of the other amp models in here. Amazing, clean top end, not brittle, not harsh, full sounding bottom end, like really cool. Okay, so I'm going to stop it there. I mean, I could easily play with this thing all day and jam it away. But I don't have the memory cards for that on my camera, and the camera's telling me that it's too hot already, so I don't really have any more time. The way things are going, you know, I'm from that camp where I love a valve amp, I love real sounds, but the more technology moves on, it's harder to deny things like the STL AmpHub. They sound awesome, and as a session musician, you know, if I'm playing with Sam or Liam, you know, if I turn up with like a 2x12 cab or a 4x12 cab on a head and it's loud, you know, how can I argue against using something like that? Okay, it hasn't been tested on the live circuit too much, and that is something that I'm going to maybe look at in the future and maybe do a couple of videos on it. But certainly for studio stuff and for making kind of like YouTube and social media content, you cannot beat that. You know, like by the time you've set up your mics around your amp and stuff, you may as well have just plugged into this, because the sound quality difference, it's negligible at best these days. You know, I can't find any reason to hate this thing as much as I love my valve amps, which you can see in the background. This thing's epic. Like, it is so good. Like I say, I'm going to do some more videos on it. I'll try to focus on the clean stuff today, because there's tons of incredible guitarists out there that do the rock metal thing and the distorted amps way better than I could do it. So hopefully it gives you a better idea of the kind of clean tones that you can get out of this thing. If you get the chance to try it, give it a go. I highly recommend it. But anyway, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. It means an awful lot. And stick a like on the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.